Hello and welcome to this week's live Future Auto Solutions. Today we're going to talk about 5 tips selling cars using social media. And if it's your first time coming across the channel, please subscribe. Please hit that notification bell so you're alerted to all upcoming videos. So Gordy, how you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you. Doing
Good,
good
good, good.
yourself?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. So I'm Steve. This is my co-founder Gordy. He's the one with the experience of many, many years in the car industry, who's also spent a lot of time selling cars using social media. So what we're going to share with you today is 5 tips that we think are very beneficial. That if you're not using them, your competition may be using them, and they may be killing you through using these 5 tips. So let's roll through these
Absolutely.
5 tips, Gordy, that
Yeah.
any car salesperson can use selling cars on social media. So number one is response time. Why is that a good tip for social media?
Okay. So, I mean, what I find, and when we did sort of the mystery shops and the different things, is the slow pace of response times. My biggest win is, and obviously is Facebook's biggest positive is the platform is very user friendly and it's on your mobile phone. It's always with you. So I generally find is whenever people are messaging me, it's out of hours. It's morning times. It's in the evenings. It's lunchtime. So with it being on your phone and it's literally just a response back to the customer, you can actually always get, oh, these are working, or oh, thank you for getting back to me so quickly. It's an instant positive, and it's an instant you've captured the customer straight away because they weren't expecting a response. They were sort
Hmm.
of sending it out there, sort of with a okay, well he'll get back to me like normal process. So when you're straight back to the customer with a simple hello or good morning or thanks for getting in touch, and it's someone live, it's not an automated response. It's a really, really great start, and it really sets you off on the right foot with the customer.
Great, great. And then number two, sort
Yeah,
of following on for that, which sort of dovetails
yeah,
nicely, right, is positive and availability.
yeah. So I mean, well, we had a quick conversation because it sort of caught you a wee bit of what I meant by that.
Uh-huh.
When people are watching this video, and it's probably from a sales background, or they've been through all the sales process training, and they've been through these two first steps, probably are a wee bit different or alien to what they're common used to. I think what I meant sort of with positive and availability is one, okay, it's 7:30 in the morning. Good morning. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
It's not as sleepy, and also availability is you're ready to chat with the customer. You're not, listen, hi. Generally, was when people send an automated response or out of office, it's they're not available to talk. So it's you're sending and saying, okay, acknowledge you sent me an email, but I'll chat to you later. Do you know what I mean? And that's what that is. But the difference with Facebook and the power of Facebook is it's on your mobile. So I mean, your mobile is never too far from your pocket or from your hand. So literally, it is. Hey, how's it going? And you're available to chat. Your language is positive and it's available. And how may I help you? And really get into the conversation. It doesn't need to be essays and great detail, but just that wee bit of conversation with the customer back and through actually really does set you
Mm.
up. And again, as I said, it puts you in a front foot, but it also puts you ahead of your competitors by because they're not even open yet. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're right in there. You're creating a rapport and you're creating a conversation, and the customer feels okay. This guy really wants to sell me a car because he's chatting to me at 7:30 in the morning. He's chatting to me at 9:30 at night. He really is interested, and he's right on it. So that's why I put positive and also available to have a conversation, and you're not putting the customer off, or you're not saying, look, listen, I'm just running out, or obviously there's always the circumstances and you aren't available, but if you can be 90% of the time ready to have a conversation, you're way ahead of where everybody else is.
Yeah, and then the other thing I would add, Gordy, is people are typically responding to an advertisement, right? So a reach out. So they're responding to a specific car, a specific price point, and something that they like, and they want to know about that car, and they want to have a conversation about that car right now at this very moment. Where the traditional approach is, here's this vehicle. It may be a brand, it may be a type of car within a brand that is a generic advertisement that somebody may be responding to. The traditional approach is you go into our CRM, you basically sign up for an email, and we do a follow up and so on and so
Absolutely.
forth, right? Which
Yeah.
takes
Yeah.
time. And
Yeah.
your competitor may be actually using this level of engagement where actually they're getting to have a one-on-one conversation with a buyer who's reaching out on actually a response to a specific car that they like, and they have it, and they're like, okay, 7:30 in the morning, bang, let's have a talk about this car,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because I mean, it's the thing about all those processes, and all those processes are not incorrect. If you
Mm-hmm.
understand the CRM
Right,
system and
right,
all that, I
right,
mean that
right.
has to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, how many people are slipping through that net before you actually get the salesman who's actually getting into the conversation with the customer saying that car's available? Would you like an appointment? Do
Right.
you know what I mean? The steps and the processes and the people getting bored filling. You know, what it's like yourself when you're filling those things out on. Oh, you've missed a field, go back
Oh,
and fill
yeah,
it
I
out.
know,
You've
I
missed
know,
it. Do
I
you
know.
understand?
Yeah,
And I mean, yeah, yes, that's important, but is it really important right this minute? It's not.
right.
It's about engaging with the customer and getting that. Yes, that great news, that car is available. It's available the minute with people coming to see it, or you're a salesperson, you
Right,
understand that
you can create
you
that
you,
experience.
you
Yeah.
exactly. So I
Yeah.
mean, it's so, and if you're doing it right, you're ahead of 90% of the businesses out there.
Right, right,
Maybe more, maybe more.
right, right. No, it's a great point there. So number three, is build desire and trust.
It's actually number three is qualification and listen, but listen. So I have qualification and listen.
That's okay. We
So
can go with that.
basically, yeah, because the reason why I put that ahead of building desire is, I mean, you can only build desire when you understand what the customer wants and their needs. So that's why I put it sort of ahead of that. Qualification, I mean, it's in every sales process. Any salesperson with their salt can qualify a customer and can actually listen to a customer. So I put it in there because it's a fundamental and it's really
Mm.
important. But the thing about it is, and probably an important thing just to note, that customer, as what you alluded to just there a second ago, that customer's actually come to you about an advert that you put on. So something in your little post is caught an eye. Is it the monthly payment? Is it the low insurance? Is it, what is it? So it's about nailing down into what it is actually they have. Okay, yes, that car's available. What is it about that car that
Yeah.
really caught your eye, or what is it in that? Is it the finance deal? Is it the high MPG, the service history? What is it this customer's actually gone, okay, this is what I need, or this is what and when someone's actually come to you and you're actually going back to them saying, okay, well, tell me about it. What is it you need from it, or why have you contacted me? They'll tell you everything you need to know, and that's about the listening and understanding what they're saying to you,
Yeah.
and then it's about moving on to the next step and actually starting then really to knit in and actually build trust between you and the customer, and and getting that rapport going.
No, that is it's those three words after the qualifications, the really important piece, right? Listen to needs,
Yeah,
right? What is it specifically that they're really wanting to hear? And in any, as you pointed out earlier, in any sales training you went through, that is the most important thing you hear, right? What is this? What is the need? Is it a price? Is it a color? Is it a type of car?
absolutely,
What is it, right? And so,
absolutely.
so what is that need? That's a great point. So then I did jump the gun. So let's go back to where I was
Yeah,
and catch up with you. So
yeah,
build desire and trust.
yeah. So I mean, whenever someone tells you something and then you've listened and you've took it on board, okay, this customer's price driven, it's monthly payment, it's their budget, or it's really like the spec. I've got children, it's good size for the boot. Or there's motives and reasons why everybody sort of wants to look at something, and so it's about, so once you understand what they're looking for and you've listened to their needs, then it's about putting meat on the bones of what
Mm,
your advert has. So basically, when someone says, it's a monthly payment, or so it's about actually, okay, let's sell the finance package. Let's sell what they're getting for their money. Let's put value on that, the dollar or the pound or whatever it is you've highlighted. Or if it's the boot space, the service history, tell them a wee bit about, not song and dance and go on and on, but just give them a wee bit more information. And what you're doing then is that you're building desire and you're building the trust, because they have told you something and they can actually understand, okay, he's listening to me and he's actually telling me things that I need to know or I'm interested in knowing. Not, this
mm-hmm.
has got 700 brake horsepower, this has got,
Right.
do you know what I mean? The things that are actually important to that customer. And once you do that, then you're building trust and you're building a to and fro between the customer, and you're building desire every time they come back to you with a, oh, that's great, or, and what about, you're building that trust and that desire to come and actually meet you and actually come and sort of say, okay, well, this guy really, okay, firstly, he's responding to me really quickly and positive.
Mm-hmm.
He's listened to what I need, he's got something that's really ticking all my boxes. So let's move to the next step, and let's really nail down and try and get an appointment, and sort of see whenever that's
Yep. Yep.
available.
So number 5 was make an
Yeah,
appointment and be ready, right? And
yeah,
you stressed to me the be ready part. So let's talk about make an
yeah,
appointment and be ready.
yeah. I mean, whenever the end goal is always the appointment. So whenever you're in any sales course, it's drive the appointment, make the appointment, always selling, always making the appointment. That's what's drilled into you in all the sales courses. And in the end of the day, you can't sell a car without seeing the customer. So making the appointment is the end goal, and it is where you need to be. But
Hmm.
nine, not 9 times out of 10, but too many times I've seen salesmen make appointments and they're not ready for the appointment. It sounds the simplest thing in the world. It sounds like, what I mean, but it's about, okay, understanding the car that they're looking at. Is that car sitting ready, and is it prepped? Is it ready for them? If they turn around to me and go, can I come in an hour? Is that car sitting ready to go? So it's about actually controlling whenever you're nailing down the appointment, you're lining it up, understanding, okay, that car is ready, so let's just get an appointment as quick as we can. Or if it's maybe you need an afternoon to get organized, you don't tell the customer it's not ready.
Hmm.
Listen, I have a few appointments this afternoon. I have an availability for this evening if that would suit you, or I have an availability tomorrow morning at whatever time when would suit you. So you're showing the customer, okay, this guy's busy, he's selling cars, he's making appointments. I actually have to nail down an appointment at time, so
Hmm.
I'm actually accountable here for what's happening, and it's making you sound more professional. And again, you're building that trust, you're building that sort of, you're not just a fly by your seat pants, sort of let's just make an appointment, come on
Hmm.
ahead, quickly,
Yep.
quickly. What you're doing
Yep.
is you're slowing the process down. You're given the perception of you're in control of the situation, but then also when the customer does arrive, the car, you're giving yourself the absolute most chance that the car is sitting clean, sitting fueled, the battery's at a proper level, it's ready to go. There's not mold from whenever the cleaner cleaned it properly, but it's left a wee bit of damp. There's
Hmm.
just the simple details that whenever
Right.
someone comes, you're taking away any objections, and all you're doing is presenting the car as best possible way. And at the end of the day, they've already come to agreement and all the qualifications and all those things that they desire and need is right here in this car. So you're taking away as many objection and questions, you know, and you're giving yourself the best possible chance to get a deal done.
The great point, Scotty. And I mean, I know from my own experiences, right, where I make an appointment with a car salesperson, or say I've or been into the dealership already, and I've had a
Yeah,
conversation, and we've been through some of the specs that I like, and I make a follow up appointment. I go into that follow up appointment. One, I have to wait for the appointment because whatever is running late. Two, the salesperson goes, I know you, but I don't really remember too much about our conversation, what specifically had happened for you, which is, it's a little frustrating, but that's just,
frustrating. Yeah.
everyone's different. Totally get that, right? But what is it? How is this different? And what's your experience of it being different whenever you're using this social media where you're advertising one specific car, someone's responding to one specific car? How is that engagement, and how is that different from that traditional approach?
I found one, what it does is it increases your conversion rate by an absolute ex- vast amount, because I mean sometimes, and you know what it's like when you go somewhere, you go with something in your mind. Okay, I'm going to look at this is what I'm looking for. But there's so much choice, and there's so many cars, or you can look left and you look right, and it starts to confuse.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes that's what happens. But also, whenever you've been having the data between the customer back and forward, yeah, they tell you more than they actually realize they're telling you.
Right.
They tell
Right.
you a wee bit about their family. They tell you a wee bit about what they're needing, or what they're doing that day, or you know, I can meet you at whatever, but I'm going somewhere else. Do you know what I mean? They tell
Yeah.
you more and more information, and because on the social media and the Facebook is so familiar how people converse on that, they actually are more open.
Mm-hmm.
It's strange, and
Mm-hmm.
it's something I completely didn't foresee happening.
Right. Right. Right.
So I mean, what it's like when you're typing something on Facebook, or you're typing an email. It's two different languages.
Right.
An
Yeah.
email you're trying to be more intelligent. I don't know why, but you're
Yeah.
trying to
Yeah.
be more intelligent on an email, and
Yeah.
I'm not great at that. But where Facebook is, it's a lot more. sort of easy going and gives
Yeah,
you more
yeah,
scope to
yeah.
be, a wee bit more sort of relaxed. So when you're relaxed and the conversation's relaxed, when you meet, it actually transfers. You're more relaxed,
Mm,
and it gives you a lot more of a, there's more of a rapport and a trust. And to be honest with you, I mean, trust is like the biggest thing in a sales process. If someone feels, okay, I trust this deal is a good deal. I trust this guy is getting this car organized and it's not going to let me down.
right.
And I trust to give him my money. Those they're so powerful in a sales process. If someone has a wee doubt, is this car going to be right?
Mm-hmm.
Does this guy really? Does he sound like he's going to? Do you know what I mean?
Right, right.
There's many reasons why you back out of a deal, or you say, look, listen, I'm going to have we think about it, and I'll get back to you. You know what I mean? There's so many things, but if you can actually have that trust, and Facebook really lends itself to that, that selling process. And this is why it's the biggest. This is why we're so passionate about that actual process, and that's why it's worked so well for me for the past 3 years. Is because when you're doing it day and daily and you're living it, you can actually really get involved with the customers. You see the reviews, you see how quickly people want to do things after the fact, that send
Right.
customers to you.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable how much it just grows and grows and actually becomes so powerful.
Yeah.
I probably went on too much there.
No. It was really good context, and I'm gonna sort of add to it. But if anybody's watching or anyone has any questions, I mean, please do drop in the comments, do drop in the chat feature, and we're happy to sort of answer any questions that people may have, be it live or be it after, and they're watching the recording of it. But the one thing that sort of you noted, and you did speak about the trust from the salesperson perspective, but it's what makes it so brilliant is the trust from the customer's perspective, because they're comfortable sitting at home, like you said, at 7:30 in the morning, they're getting ready, they're having a spot, something's popped up in their Facebook feed just before they leave the house, they shoot a quick note, and then all of a sudden you get this little engagement, and it's not long form, it's really a simple question, simple response, and it's like probably two or three, and there's no pushiness, it's just information being exchanged. And most of the time, in that environment, when people have reached out, they've actually made the buy-in decision. All they need to be now is to be verified and proved that they were right, and it's up to the salesperson not to mess it up, right? Because in essence, they have reached out, and that's where that trust comes in, right? So you're reaching really motivated buyers. So I just sort of wanted to sort of add that point too as well. So so as we wrap up, so the 5 tips, and I'll try and get them in order, is response time.
Yeah.
Number 2 is positive and available. Number 3 is qualification, but listening to needs.
Absolutely.
Number 4 is build desire and trust. And then number 5 is make appointments and be ready. All right, Gordy, thank you. I appreciate it. And now,
Thank you so much. No problem.
if you want to get involved, or you want to sort of hear more about what our approach is, we're setting up 15-minute conversations. Be it you're a salesperson, be you're a car dealership, we're happy to have those conversations. We'll review your social media. We'll walk you through our strategy. We'll actually show you our Facebook page, where you can actually see the interaction, the level of interaction, how we do sales on that, and share all that with you. So if you are, reach out. The email's on the screen. It's also down in the description below. But do reach out to us, and we're happy to sit down and have a conversation. All right, Gordy. Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Have a good.
Cheers.
No problem at all.
Chat
Thank
next
you.
week,
Take
mate.
care.
Cheers. Bye.